Hello, everybody, and welcome to SparkofVintage. I am Cindy, the owner and head treasure hunter here at SparkofVintage, and we are delighted that you're here with us today. If you're new, I'm so glad that you found us, and if you're returning, well, welcome back. We're grateful to have you back here again. Well, today is all about the September Sonnets Makers Box, and it is Pumpkin Day for me. The majority of the project I did were just different kind of mixed media pumpkin makeovers using all of the DIY, fusion mineral paint, and all of the decoupage and rice papers in the Makers Box. So I hope you'll stay with us for our pumpkin patch journey. And again, thank you for being with us. And in the meantime, happy crafting. This rusted out pumpkin was in total need of a makeover. I found it in the Goodwill bins, and while I loved the teal color to it, Renfro Blue from Fusion Mineral Paint was coming to the rescue. It took just a single coat of the Fusion Mineral Paint to cover up all of that abstract and rust, and then I used Electrified from DIY to add a little pop of color to that top leaf there. I wanted to stay within the same kind of color family, and I loved how all of the paints were so perfectly coordinated in the box. I then used FX Prism Glaze from Vicky Boutin. I watered it down. It was in the color of mermaid, and I just thought it added a nice little pop of sheen to the pumpkin. Then I used just a copper metallic paint from Folk Art to really bring all of those patina colors together. This beautiful wood tray had such a gorgeous rustic feel, and when I saw Roycycled Decoupage Paper in the whispers of fall, I knew it was going to be the perfect accompaniment. This project was a little challenging because the wood on the serving tray is a little wavy in some parts, so I really had to take my time to measure out my paper and to make sure that I got an exact cut on it. I used a little bit of white paint at the bottom to let that decoupage paper shine through, and then sealed it with Tim Holtz's Collage Medium. I loved all of those darker colors in the wood, so I used a little bit of DIY's dark wax in order to darken the wood a little bit. It looked a little too, I don't know, newish compared to the paper, so I wanted to deepen those colors a little bit, and I think it came out great. I've had a lot of fun doing pumpkin makeovers this year on my projects. And this resin pumpkin had a lot of choppy angles. It's very rustic and folk arty. So I painted it with electrified green from DIY, and then painted the stem with coal black, which is a fusion color I got from a previous box. I was definitely going for a poison apple witchy feel with this pumpkin. I used my Tim Holtz border stamps along with black archival ink in order to stamp just an abstract random pattern of different swirls and symbols and everything around the pumpkin, as well as some secret messages throughout the pumpkin here and there. Because the pumpkin was so lumpy, bumpy, it was really challenging to get exact stamping done on it. But I just took my time, put random little pieces here and there, and it was really fun to do this kind of different mixed media piece with this pumpkin. You can subscribe to your own maker's box at sonnetsgardenblooms.com. The painted photographer always has such beautiful rice papers. They're so detailed and textured feeling, and I love making tags and different ornaments with them every month. So this month I decided to use the Moody Night paper, cut out that beautiful raven on top of that teal pumpkin, and use it as a pumpkin tag. Just an ornament or a little tag that you can hang off of your pumpkin or your Halloween or fall decorations. I used stickles, glitters in different colors, like to accent that blue, and then also used black diamond in the stickles in order to re-outline the raven on the tag. I then took archival ink in espresso and just detailed the edges to give it just a little more of a kind of detailed or vintagey look all around the different edges. And I thought, how cute would this be on top of a basket, a pumpkin, just as a little charm even for your doorway. For this next project, I used the other decoupage paper that we received from the painted photographer, Pumpkin in Fall Views. Connie's pieces are always so beautiful that most of the time I don't like to do too much to them because they're kind of perfect as they are. But this time I decided to put a little polka dots on the pumpkin. I used my Tim Holtz shifter stencil. Now this stencil lets you apply multiple colors and all different patterns by just shifting the stencil. You can follow one of Tim Holtz's tutorials to show you how to use the stencil guidelines, but it's a fun and quick way to add a little texture and pattern to a piece. I'm always on the lookout for great frames whenever I'm thrifting. They're usually pretty easy to flip, and you can make them any color to match whatever decor you're creating. This time I used the Fusion Mineral Paints Renfrew Blue. I just love this color this month in this box. And then used the Bronze Age Metallic Wax from Finnabar in order to just add a little touch of brilliance to the perimeter of the frame. Framed my print and we were ready to go. And for our final project, I decided to do another pumpkin makeover, this time using the other Fusion Mineral color that we had in our box, mustard. I wasn't so sure I was going to like this color until I got it on the pumpkin, and I really love the richness of this yellow color. Now I decided to do embossing on this pumpkin. So I covered it with embossing medium and then added some embossing powder that had a little special touch. Now this powder melts flat and then has gold sprinkles and glitter within it, but it kind of pops and explodes as you melt it. So to me, it kind of looked like a glazed donut or something that was frosted. So it was a fun pumpkin and an easy makeover. Well, that is a wrap for this September box. I want to thank you so much again for visiting us here at SparkofVintage. I hope you'll like and subscribe and share, and we'll see you again next week for our next set of makeovers.